Hi guys, today we're taking a look at the new Forza Motorsport and testing it out with the Fanatec CSL DD racing wheel together with the Clubsport shifter and Clubsport handbrake to see how it feels when racing and testing to see if the handbrake and shifter work. I'll be testing on both my Xbox Series X and PC to see if there's any difference in gameplay between the two. Details for all the items I'll be showing in today's video are in the description below, including purchasing links. But before I begin, if you're new to the channel, hope you can support me by subscribing and hitting the bell icon to get notified of my next release. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. I've got the premium edition of Forza Motorsport, which retails for £89.99, and this includes the full game plus the race day car pack, the car pass, which gives 30 cars delivered to your game weekly, 1 per week, the VIP membership and the welcome pack. Plus you get 5 days early access to the game. But worth noting, the game is available if you have Game Pass at no additional cost. The game took almost a day to install on my Xbox Series X, and it takes up 133 gigabytes of storage. So if you're thinking of expanding your hard disk, I've done a video to show how to expand your Xbox storage. You can click the link in the corner or check out the link in the description below. Let's begin with testing the Fanatec CSL DD with my Xbox. I've got it set up on my sim cockpit from Track Racer. This is the TR120, and my TV is the LG OLED C1, which is 55 inches in size. I have my shifter mounted on the side mount, and the handbrake is attached to the side of the shifter. My pedals are the Clubsport pedals V3, and the wheel I'm using is a CSL steering wheel GT V2 with the Clubsport Universal Hub V2 for Xbox. And just a note, before I start using any of the Fanatec devices, it's definitely worth checking on a PC to ensure you have the latest firmware and make sure you calibrate the shifter. Let's get started. So starting up the CSL DD, so you press down on the power button that's on the wheelbase. Initially it's red, which means it's in PC mode. Press it a second time to flip over to Xbox mode, and this is shown by it being green. Then powering on my Xbox and starting up Forza Motorsport. Let me go into free play and start up a test drive with the Audi RS3 on Grand Oak Raceway with the transmission set to manual with clutch. So let's test out the wheel, and it seems to be working fine. As you can see, I'm turning the wheel and it matches up with what you're seeing on the screen, but it only covers 180 degrees in the cockpit view. If you turned it any further, you don't see it turning any further on the screen. Paddle shifters are working fine, shifting up and down through the gears, and this change is represented on the screen as you can see. Next, onto the pedals, the accelerator is working as expected. When you press down, you can see a blue indicator moving on the screen at the same time, showing a progressive motion on how much the accelerator has been pressed. Similarly for the brake too, where the further you press, the red indicator on the screen moves accordingly. There's not an indicator for the clutch, but this is only used in conjunction when shifting and only applied if you've set the transmission to manual with clutch. And if you didn't want to use it, set the transmission to manual. Testing the shifter, and there's 2 modes on this. I've currently got it set on H pattern mode, and as you can see here, I'm shifting through the gears and it's working perfectly, with the gear change shown on the screen. Switching over to sequential mode, and that seems to be working perfectly as well, and I haven't had to restart the game in between. Testing the clutch, and it seems to be working as expected, so you'd clutch down in between gear changes and release the clutch once the gear is engaged. Onto the handbrake, and this wasn't working, so going into settings and into the wheel section, I had to reassign this manually. Let's do a test drive, and seriously, the difference between this and the entry-level Logitech wheel is night and day, with the racing experience feeling massively better, with it being very smooth and refined and giving a good amount of detail from bumps, curbs and the track itself, helping to accurately experience the feedback. The pull from the wheel feels great, with the terrain feeding back really well through the wheel. The paddle shifters performed well, shifting through the gears together with the pedals, giving a great experience, being responsive and accurate. And I'm using the CSL DD with the boost kit, taking the force feedback to 8 Newton meters. Now I've got the transmission set to manual with clutch, and you're able to use the shifter or the paddle shifters in this mode. And just to note, you can change gear in this mode without pressing the clutch, without it making any major difference on the car. So this may be more car dependent, I think. Now flipping over the transmission to manual, and this is where you don't have to use the clutch. And this works perfectly with the shifter and the paddle shifters. Next, testing the wheel on a PC, and for this you'll need to install the Fanatec control panel for the game to work. I've got it running on my gaming PC from CyberPower, The game takes up 119 gigs of storage, so jumping into a race, and honestly I didn't notice any difference in performance with it working equally as well, and the shifter and handbrake performed exactly as it did on the Xbox. So no advantage in terms of gameplay, and force feedback was equivalent to a console, giving a good experience. Now if you're wondering if there's any difference with the Fanatec GT Pro, well there's no difference, as it's essentially the same wheelbase as the CSL DD with the added benefit of having PlayStation support. But remember, this compatibility is also dictated by the wheel you're using. And in terms of gaming, the major advantage of having a PC over an Xbox is the ability to use an ultra-wide monitor or even multiple monitors, which I can confirm work perfectly on Forza Motorsport. So there you have it, you come to the end of another video, and I hope it's helped anyone wondering if the new Forza Motorsport works with the Fanatec CSL DD and Clubsport shifter and handbrake. Details for all the items I've mentioned in today's video are in the description below, including purchasing links. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. For those of you who got to the end of this video, please leave a comment with Forza CSL, as it's nice to see who's got to the end of my video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. You can follow me on my socials. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to be notified of my next release. Thanks for viewing, and see you in the next one.